All right. Let's see what Fanum has to say about the streaming world. What's going on in the higher ups of the streaming world? And let me say this too. Fanum is an Aquarius. Shout out Fanum. And a lot of his approaches, a lot of his takes, I second with. So let's see.
What's poppin', y'all? Fanum, founding member of AMP and the guy that discovered Kai Cenat and brought him into streaming and brought him into AMP, let him live at their house while he was still, at the time, in the hood at his mom's apartment with the rat or the mouse flying through in the background. He decided to explain why, in several clips, streaming is just screwed now from when he first came into the game. And while he may not be he is definitely not an OG in the streaming space, he has seen the evolution of it just from when he got in. So I'm going to play you guys this first clip of him just mocking current gen streamers, and then we're going to get into the more somewhat serious stuff in a second.
Chat, yo, this how streamers, this how the streamers be now. Look. Yo, chat, I gotta take a piss, chat. Should I pee now or later? Chat, should I just pee now or later, chat?
It's because it's ultra validation. I mean, it's ultra validation, though. But here's my thing. You ever done this, Phantom? Consistently? Because a lot of times it be a lot of these folks, they the pot calling the kettle black, you know? Nigga, you the pot. You bigger than me. Quote unquote. No pun intended. And that's crazy. We both got black on right now. It's kind of, you know. But the pot calling the kettle black, like, you're ridiculing those who just watch y'all do what y'all... Like, respectfully, I didn't watch none of them. I don't watch none of them to this day. Why? Because I know as a streamer, as a creator, as a innovator, as a visionary, as a YouTuber, I create what I like. I create what I would like to watch. And I'm not some TikTok kid. I'm not some iPad. I'm gonna have two screens with multiple streams up kid. No. Never have been, never will be me. I'm gonna tell you who I was watching though, Cash Nasty. I was watching Cash Nasty, YouTube, Chris Move, QJB, Kel hit him up. Of course, who else? Chris Got Game. I remember him. You know? Like, they were having like actual conversations, actual talks. And mind you, these were all older people. So I like to create what I like, what I want to watch.
Chat, I gotta pee. Should I pee now or should I just hold it? Should I hold it or should I just pee now? Now? Alright, bet. Chat, should I run or should I just walk to the bathroom?
Told y'all, man, that C word is cancerous, man. Get out your vocabulary. All that chat shit. Chat. All that chat shit.
This really makes me think of Neon, other than anybody else that I can think of off the top of my head. Because Neon was somebody, especially in maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, 2023, certainly, he was just somebody that was absolutely run by his chat. And I do think that's the drawback of some of these streamers blowing up as teenagers, is that you're a teenager and you're getting real-time feedback and peer pressure from thousands of people watching you, and you have this urge. You also haven't really grown into your...
All over the phone. None of it in person.
Whereas like YouTube, it was a different story. But a lot of these people like Fanum, for instance, they were grown by the time they got into streaming. So they don't have this like, yo, should I do this, chat? Should I do this? And it's trying to get interactions and engagement from the chat, but a lot of them are seriously like this. However, he goes and talks about the epidemic or pandemic or whatever you want to call it of clipping culture. And this is something that I've wanted to touch on for quite a while, but I just haven't had the right spark to hit on it. I didn't know on what topic I would do it, so I think today is a good video for it. So I'm gonna play you guys the clip first.
Nah, I don't even think niggas trying to force beef. I think people trying to get their clips, get their views, get their fucking numbers up. Yeah, that's really what it is, bro. This whole shit is, bro, it's this a competition, my nigga. Throughout, all the way throughout. You know what I'm saying? This shit switched, my nigga. Even it's down to the clipping nigga, bro. Even the Clippers is in competition.
That's true. Yeah.
Word to my everybody, bro. I'm telling you, gang. Like certain shit is facts. Other shit is cat. Certain shit is dead facts though. No bullshit, chat. The clip.
And see, what I do know about Fanum, he want to say so much more than what he's saying, cause I'm, I'm more mature. I'm, yo, he ain't say nothing. He went nowhere with that. But he knows how to articulate himself very well. He knows how to speak. He knows what he means. Fanum is a visionary. He not in that space because he's a dummy. Mostly a dummy, right? Some shit is facts, and some shit is cap. Huh? What? Like,
to my everybody, bro. I'm telling you, gang. Like certain shit is facts. Other shit is cat. Certain shit is dead facts, though. No bullshit, chat. The clip is going hard, trying to see, all right, who could rage bait the hardest?
Yeah.
Who could rage bait the
and
hardest?
Caption them captions.
Right, who could get out the clip faster?
Yeah.
All right, you know what I'm saying? But you know what it is, though? That's just how it is. It's facts. Everybody spend.
You know how it is, though? That's how it is. Word up, though.
In facts, it is what it is. You dead can't say nothing, though. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the game is now. The game is always evolving. It's either you adapt or you die, my heart. Real simple, bro.
That's
if
true.
a nigga get caught up in anything, what's a smart move to do, chat? You gotta shut the fuck up. You gotta backpedal. You gotta say something else. You gotta switch it up real quick. You know what I'm saying? See, me, that's why I ain't gonna lie. That's why I don't go nowhere, chat. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? I don't even share my streams. No bullshit. Don't believe me. Go on my gram right now. Go check if I shared my stream. I don't even share my live. Man. I just click go live, gang. Dead ass. For what? You going mad hard, bro. It's too much. It's too much animosity. It's mad shit going on. They said y'all ruined streaming. How did I ruin streaming? How? Be real with yourself.
Maybe because they're a solid team, and they have a solid team. You know, they are very cautious about who they allow in their circle, who they allow in their corners, and I think their communication throughout AMP is very tight. This is not some teenage high school just graduating, just trying to hit a lick, come up type of. This is they've been doing skits, been doing YouTube, been pimping since been pimping. So they know how the ropes go, and their communication is tight with how they move.
Real with yourself. How did I ruin streaming? How? If you tell me how I end stream right now, or if you tell me how I did that shit, I end stream. Oh God, I end stream. Nigga, where's my mother? There's no way I did that. They said AMP, but you can't. I'm still AMP, right? So you can't say that because I'm still AMP. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't just say You can't say that, gang. You feel me? I don't care if niggas talk shit because I ain't gonna lie. One thing about me, and some of my niggas do not like that about me though. I ain't gonna cap. But one thing I appreciate is a good hater. You gotta appreciate a good hater, chat. I know how to hate. Fire. A good shit talker. I could appreciate a good shit talker, chat. Like, damn, like you really have to think about that. You know what I'm saying? I like that D1 haters. I got, you feel me? I do. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry. That's just me personally. I am like that. I like that shit. But I don't know, bro. I be laughing off a lot of shit. I'm gonna give it a buck. Soundboard not working. Let's see.
I'm going to break down a little bit of history here. So clipping goes back very, very far. You can go back to plug channels on YouTube, but if we're going to talk specifically on short form,
it's the influx.
It's
the influx,
yo,
the influx.
For streamers or influencers, Andrew Tate was that guy for it. What Andrew Tate did was he had this group of people in like Hustlers University or whatever, and he said, hey, you guys can make money by clipping my stuff on TikTok. And you guys clip my stuff.
Monetize.
He gave them
his
all
face
of the
go
materials,
out.
all of the interviews, etc.
Wait, you're not about to just put Andrew Tate like he was the face or the big brain behind that shit, huh? What?
They would start clipping it up, and a lot of his stuff was talking about, oh, this is how you make money. This is how you make money. And then they would have a link which would give them a commission on everything that was sold. So the incentive here was the money that they were going to gain via product being sold. And they had already bought the product as well. So that's where that came from. After that, Sneeko was the first one to follow up on this. And what Sneeko did was he already had a big audience that really just messed with him for him. And he started streaming, and then he just started encouraging people to clip stuff and saying that they would make money. And I think they were making money from like the TikTok creativity program. So he was like, yo, you're going to get views. And he was just copying Tate's like talking points, saying crazy stuff at the time. And he was blowing up. So people were doing this for Sneeko. They were making some money off of it, or they were at least like clouding up off of it and getting these pages to a certain amount of follower counts.
And that's very tough, guys. That is very tough. Yo! Loner, what's good, man? Yes, Sirski. 28 months, man. Salute, my brother. Thank you for the love, dog. And that is the very interesting thing about making money with or off somebody else. When you got the bread, just like birds, just like fishes. When you got the bread, when you got the bait, and you throw it out there, and they know you got it, they all come running. They'll all be there. They'll all come flocking. But when the bread dry up, or you have a change of heart, change of mind, where do the birds go? Where do the fish go? Back to the same place they came. Back to the same place they came from. Is it disheartening? Well, that's up for you to decide. It is distasteful when you have a really good heart. And that's what this breeds. This I'm gonna beat up a creator. I'm gonna beat up a person so that it could all be clipped. I'm gonna weaponize somebody for what they do or what they don't do, just so it can be clipped. Just so we can get money. But when this person can't give me any money and this person is dried up, as they say, fell off, well, you are disposable. You cannot be used anymore. But when you build yourself to a place where everything in your life is authentic, is genuine, it's true, it's you, it's real, it's righteous, it's raw, everything is monetized. Everything is monetizable. Everything is structured. So, what could you really do? What could one really do? And that's going back to Fanum's point about just being a D1 hater. And you laughed that shit off. You laughed that shit off.
So that's how that would be the first two. Then it opened the floodgates. A lot of other people started doing it, but Sneeko's editor at the time, Musa, he was one of those people that started posting these clips of, hey, I make $15K a month and this is my routine. I just go to CapCut and I clip up
throwing out the bread
or a famous streamer. I post it on TikTok. I get these views and this is how much money I'm making. And he pushed that heavy. So now all these teenagers are seeing that guy. I'll try to insert a clip of like the Musa ad, if you want to call it that, or the video that he would recreate a lot of the time.
Yeah, and he gets them to join a Discord and they're full of clippers, money hungry little, little joints who have nothing but time on their hands. And so let's just spend all the time that you do have on clipping up these big streamers who pump out all type of clips, and they're popular, and drama and beef is induced into all of these creators. So win-win. Works for us, works for them. Huh? Puts their face out, puts their brand out, and gets us money in our pockets. We could put a ring light or a microphone or a webcam, a mouse, a keyboard, a water gallon, a Stanley, a Bradley, a cup, a hat from the TikTok shop, a sweatshirt in the TikTok shop. Put it in the bio and they'll click it, and yep, that's a jug. Consumerism grew into slavery.
If I can find it. But that brought a whole generation of kids to say, like, yo, I'm watching these guys anyway. I can just clip them and make money off of it. All right. So then we're in this new era.
Dangerous,
and
man.
what happens after this period of time is
dangerous.
A lot of them start getting claimed. So if they were uploading on YouTube, things like that, YouTube stopped monetizing channels that were just regurgitated content. So if you weren't Sneeko, but you were posting Sneeko clips, you weren't going to get monetized. So the incentive wasn't there, because for people that were clipping like a Kai Cenat or something, it wasn't Andrew Tate where they were getting sales off of a product and they got commissioned that way. They only got it from the monetization on the views. This is where it comes in that people started paying streamers because they realized the value of, or streamers started paying clippers because they realized the value of a clipper. Because if a clipper can take good clips from their stuff, or many clippers, an army of them, then they can spread it everywhere, and they will in turn be more famous, more popular, and people will transfer to their streams. Some people do this on their own, like Jinxie, for example. He was a streamer that just clipped up his own stuff on his own page, and he grew that way. And then clippers started doing it for him, but I don't think he paid. But certain individuals, I'm not going to put the names out there, they started to create like clipping services or Discords where they would charge people and be like, hey, for this amount of money,
get accounts too.
For this amount of...
They could get accounts too. Let's not forget that. They have accounts in there that are open. They have like 9,000 followers, 10,000, 11,000. They're already ready to be monetized, quote unquote, through the TikTok shop, the TikTok creator fund, all these different things. So, they also sell and trade TikTok accounts. Ooh, woo! Nothing new under the sun. Nothing new under the sun, and I'm so glad that I have eyes to see this shit so clearly.
Views that you get as a clipper. Neon was one of the first people to do this. Aiden Ross, he used to buy these clipping pages or these streamer pages and say like, yo, you're just posting Aiden Ross stuff now. So now we're in this new era. And then the era gets even crazier because now it's not that it's saturated, but more people are recognizing the opportunity of clipping. What happens when gambling companies
get banned
off of Twitch and they're advertising everywhere else, they start reaching out to these clipping pages, in particular on Twitter and even on Instagram. And they're like, okay, you guys are getting this many impressions and views. Put our logo. This is why in damn near every single clip of a streamer that you see on a Clippers page, there is some sort of a crypto casino plastered on there. That's because these guys are getting a ton of views. So it goes back to they can't make money off of AdSense because it's regurgitated.
That's an interesting point. Wow. Damn. So now when you see that on TikTok, that's the reason behind. That's the reason behind you see Stake or the gambling casino, whatever logo on the. That's interesting.
That's because these guys are getting a ton of views. So it goes back to they can't make money off of AdSense because it's regurgitated content. They may not be getting paid as much from the streamers, right? And then now what's going to pay them the most is the gambling. So the more views and impressions they can get for this gambling sponsor, the more money that they're going to get paid. So now what is the incentive for the Clippers? The Clippers incentive is to get the best clips possible that are going to and by best, it means what's going to generate the most engagement,
drama,
the most views, the most comments, the most replies, in particular on Twitter. And what does that? Rage bait content. So stoking beef, stoking the flame of things like that. And the more Clippers recognize these opportunities, Clippers have to get more creative with headlines. Think about them
Twitter's
like
cancerous.
Clippers now, I would say, are the equivalent of the National Enquirer or a TMZ. So if you guys are unfamiliar, the National Enquirer was the best, I believe it was the best-selling magazine for years upon years. And people were embarrassed to say that they read it, but it was still, no one would say, the meme was, there wasn't even a meme back then. But the joke was that nobody reads the National Enquirer, but everybody reads the National Enquirer because nobody admits it, but how was it still the number one best-selling? But the National Enquirer was known for having headlines that were just salacious headlines based on celebrities. And then TMZ, of course, is the online version. National Enquirer used to be like at the grocery store checkout line, things like that. TMZ became the digital version of that. You could say Perez Hilton at the same time too. And a lot of people, they just trashed TMZ for many, many years. And like, yo, TMZ's trash. Yet TMZ's still here. And yeah, now the modern day celebrity really for the kids is not so much a TV star or a movie star or maybe even a singer. It's a streamer or a content creator.
And if you notice too, y'all, these platforms, these mediums are just that. They're mediums. They're middlemen. They're Malcolms. They're Malcolms stuffed in the middle. Why TMZ will always be TMZ. The Breakfast Club, the Shade Room, right? There what Breakfast Club, Shade Room, there wasn't what? There wasn't what? Okay? There's always going to be, let's be in the middle of both sides, both parties. We are the other set of eyes. We are the cap. We are the headset. We are the other set of ears listening to this side and this side. And then we are the medium that's going to portray a narrative, put out a message from what we've heard, drama, beef, back and forth. We're going to put that out.
A YouTuber, and these Clippers are the TMZ of that. So they're creating the salacious headlines, except they're getting paid from, instead of advertisers, these gambling sponsors. And now they're incentivized.
But how does that work? How does that part work? So they get their page up to a certain number, certain engagement, monthly views, and then they reach out to the gambling company, or the gambling company reach out to them. Like, do you pre-program your clips? Do the Clippers pre-program their clips with the logo? Like you're jumping the gun? Like before they get the sponsorship, they put the logo of the sponsor or the brand they want before they get the deal, and then they get paid? Like I said, they got to work to prove that the views and the engagement is up to par so they can get the deal from?
Paid from, instead of advertisers, these gambling sponsors. And now they're incentivized to create crazy headlines, and they're probably getting paid as well by streamers. So they're making money from many different angles. They're making money from upcoming streamers that want to get paid to get pay to get posted on their page. They're making money by piggybacking off of the popularity of the big streamers and using those headlines to get more impressions. Right. And hey, if beef is happening, that means more views for them. But it's crazy because streamers were competing, right, for viewership, and now Clippers are competing for that same, not the same viewership, but they're also competing for viewership amongst each other because they each have like a gambling sponsor, and they just want to be known as the best Clipper, because if they're the best Clipper, then everyone's just going to go watch them. So we've got a full-on industry building right before our eyes. I don't know if the word beautiful is the right word to use, but it's something to marvel at. That's for certain. And it's only developing quicker. And Fanum is right, where he's like, yo, if you cannot adapt fast enough, you're cooked. Now, a lot of these streamers that have been here for a long time, they'll always stay at their level with but they're just not going to gain new viewers. And not everybody wants that. But if somebody wants to stay at the top of streaming, they have to be up on all of these things. They have to be spending money on clippers, which is, it's so funny to me when people are just like, yo, this person didn't spend any money on clipping. Okay, yeah, he just blew up just like that. Okay, good. Well, some people do blow up, but I'm in particular talking about a certain streamer that, yeah, he for sure shelled out a marketing bag, just like artists do for their albums, to get everybody to talk about it. And then once you get lit enough that your name brings in views, that's when you don't really have to pay for clipping as much, because the reward shifts. So they're getting more reward talking about you than you are getting from paying them to talk about you. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Like and subscribe and hit the notification.
All right, cuzzo. All right, cuzzo. Solid vid, man. Solid vid. I learned a thing or two, about a thing or two.